All right, this video is designed to explain to you very briefly how you do the History IA Section C, which is the reflection. Before I talk about that, you remember that your IA has a maximum of 2,200 words. Can't be longer than that. The spread of these words in the different sections is totally up to you. But the recommendation for the OPCVL is 500 words. Some of you wrote longer than that, and it's very good analysis. That's fine. 1,300 is the recommendation for your investigation. The reflection recommendation is 400 words. Notice there are 25 marks, and so the investigation is the bulk of your paper, and that's about 3/5 of the points. The OPCVL and the reflection are each about 1/5. But they're pretty important given their brevity, so it's important to supply what IB wants. So the reflection, what is it? By the way, I'm reading from the IB guide and about the IA instructions, and you have those in the assessment folder. The reflection, examples of discussion questions that may help to encourage reflection, including the following. It's a reflection on the process, on the historical process. What methods used by historians did you use in your investigation? Probably reviewing secondary documents. What did your investigation highlight to you about the limitations of those methods? It depends on the quality of the sources. What are the challenges facing the historian? How do they differ from the challenges facing a scientist or a mathematician? You know, if history is a social science, and I think you can argue that it is, it's a very loosey-goosey sort of science. It's fuzzy. What challenges in particular does archive-based history present? And I think this answers that question to some degree. How can the reliability of sources be evaluated? What is the difference between bias and selection? What constitutes a historical event? I got up this morning, had a cup of tea, and took a shower. That happened in the past. Does that make it history? Who decides which events are historically significant? Is it possible to describe historical events in an unbiased way? What is the role of the historian? Should terms such as atrocity be used when writing about history, or should value judgments be avoided? If it is difficult to establish proof in history, does that mean all versions are equally acceptable? So, consider these questions. It's important that, well, let me just scroll down to the rubric for this section. Notice we have a rubric for the OPCVL, for the investigation itself, and for the reflection. And to get to the 3-4 mark band level, do three things. The reflection is clearly focused on what the investigation highlighted to the student about the methods used by the historian. 2, the reflection demonstrates a clear awareness of the challenges facing the historian and/or limitations of the methods used by the historian. You're not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. You're saying history is important, but here's why it's difficult. And most importantly, I think, there is a clear and explicit meaning clear and in detail, clear and explicit connection between the reflection and the rest of the investigation. Connect your comments about the challenges of the historian and your reflection with your investigation. Do all of that, and you will have an excellent reflection.